Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.
This time on Broad and High, we're showcasing actors and artists with a wide range of talents who call Central Ohio home. From a drag queen Tupperware lady.
Now, how many of us have ever been to a Tupperware party before? Raise your hands. Very good, quite a few of us. Was it a Tupperware party like this? Hell no.
To a blind woodturner.
There are safety concerns, but they're the same safety concerns as anybody.
This and more right now on Broad and High. Hi everyone, welcome to Broad and High. I'm your host, Kate Quickle. Like most working actors, Kevin Farrell held random jobs while pursuing a career in Hollywood. When a friend encouraged him to sell Tupperware to supplement his income, he dismissed the idea as ludicrous. But he eventually decided to give it a go and soon rose the ranks to become Tupperware's #1 salesperson in North America for 4 years running. The actor now lives in Powell, and he shared with us the story of his unconventional career path.
DWI is my character to sell Tupperware. Dee's a little trailer trash. She's not very classy. She kind of can talk like a truck driver. Her look is just, it's out there. It's loud and it's out there. I'm like a clown. But she's fun-loving and she likes to have a good time. If Susie Hostess says she's having a Tupperware party, chances are all our girlfriends are like, oh, really? You know, I just went to a jewelry party last week and I gotta go to a clothing party next week. But then when they see the picture of DWI, then all the girls are like, oh my God, you know, I gotta go to that.
How exciting! Okay, we'll get started in just a second, y'all. Ooh! Are y'all drinking? Because I'm prettier when you're drunk. Woo!
Her character is from Tennessee, and she was the last sole heir to the Jack Daniels fortune. So she had a little drinking problem. So DWI is really driving while intoxicated.
How fun is that? It's incredible.
So I grew up here in Columbus, Ohio, went to Centennial High School, then I went to Miami University of Ohio. I worked as an actor for about 10 years in Chicago. I got cast on an episode of Frasier, which took me out to Los Angeles. I played David Hyde Pierce's lookalike on an episode.
Oh, everyone, this is Rodney Banks.
Hello.
Dr. Niles Craig?
How do you do? The pleasure is mine.
So that took me to Los Angeles, and then I started working as an actor, pretty nonstop. And then I started selling Tupperware, and it just took off.
Before we get started, I want to do a little survey. Now, how many of us have ever been to a Tupperware party before? Raise your hands. Very good, quite a few of us. Was it a Tupperware party like this? Hell no.
2007 to 2010, I was #1 in the nation. So 4 years in a row, I sold more Tupperware personally than anybody else in the nation.
And then I started making more money doing this than I ever did as an actor. And I'm like, well, shoot, I don't want to live in Hollywood anymore. They have earthquakes and crazy people. So I decided to move home here 2 years ago. So now I'm back and I live in Powell. Woo! Oh my God, I know, I'm a Buckeye.
I think really Tupperware has grown to embrace the drag queen aspect, because there are other guys who sell in drag. I'm not the only one. We are actually bringing Tupperware to a whole new generation of people who don't even know that Tupperware is still around. And we do it with such an entertaining aspect to our show that, that people just find it more fun.
All right, pickles and cheese, zucchini and carrot, season and serve some fine taste and ferret. Your food has never tasted so fresh to date, right? Okay.
I would say that 95% of the people come to see DWI and then they buy the Tupperware afterwards. Tupperware Corporate is really on board with what we do because we're selling more product than half of their sales force. But there are people who don't understand what I do. And that makes me sad because I'm an actor who dresses up as a character. I come as Kevin, I get dressed up as Dee at your house, and I take Dee off and I leave your house as Kevin, because I don't drive around town in drag. And I don't go to the shopping stores as Dee, I don't hang out and go to the zoo as Dee. It is a character that I put on and a character I take off, much like any character in a live play at the theater. The business side of my business is huge because I average 4 to 5 parties a week. So if I'm not working, I'm in my office, I'm calling hostesses to confirm their dates, I'm dating new parties, I'm entering all the orders. Sometimes things don't show up in shipments, so I'm calling, the warehouse to make sure that orders are fulfilled. When I moved to Los Angeles, I thought I was going to be this big-time television actor, I was going to have my own show, I was going to have this huge house in Beverly Hills, and it was all based on being an entertainer. Well, what happened is I got exactly what I wanted, but it just came in a different package, which is amazing.
Come up and touch and feel, the Tupperware included, all right? And
I just wanted to be a paid actor. Now, my paycheck comes from Tupperware. It doesn't come from NBC or CBS or Showtime. I'm selling just as much here as I was in Los Angeles. There is really a need for a drag queen Tupperware lady in Columbus, Ohio. I love the fact that 20-year-olds to 90-year-olds can come to my parties and have a good time. I really just want to entertain people and for them to have a good time.
Now, as I said, my name is DWI, Miss Tennessee. Woo!
The FedEx man is here to deliver Tupperware.
Learn more about Kevin Farrell and his drag queen Tupperware persona at DWI.com or on Instagram. Next, we head to Franklinton, where we find Columbus sculptor Kristen Morris. Her work is inspired by carnivals and folk art, as well as the characters of Tim Burton and Jim Henson. She welcomed us into her studio at Chrome Edge to demonstrate how she carves life into her intricate and playful creatures.
I don't really like when people say, "Oh, that's so cute." That drives me crazy. I would probably describe it as being kind of like 3D illustration, like it tells a story. Just kind of like Alice in Wonderland-ish or like Tim Burton-ish or just kind of creepy Halloween-ish. It's hard to describe. I don't know. One of my teachers described it as playfully macabre. So that's a good description, I think. I would say when I was a little kid, I just really got inspired with my mom being a potter because she started when I was just really little and doing art shows. I thought it would be fun since she's selling stuff. I thought, why can't I do something? So I started making these little tiny snakes out of clay that I sold for 35 cents each. And now I have these pieces that sell for a few $100s. So it kind of evolved from there. Sometimes I make like a pinch pot, and then I make another pinch pot, and then I score and slip them and then put them together. So I have like a round ball. I put those together, and then I kind of press the eyes in, and then I kind of make details. And lately, I've been putting tentacles on them for arms. Don't ask me why. I've just been having fun with that. I like using my creativity and just letting the clay take shape in my hands and just like seeing what it's going to become. And I just have a lot of fun with shaping the clay and coming up with my own characters and using my imagination. I've had some jobs where I've had to sculpt exactly what they wanted, like to a T, and I just did not have fun with that. Sometimes I paint things like black first, and then I dry brush over the top. But then other times I've started adding just like an iron oxide over the top of the clay, like a black iron oxide, and then it allows the clay to show through. And then occasionally I paint them with acrylics. Sometimes I use underglazes, which, so it just depends the effect I want. Sometimes I think of stories as I'm working on them. I try to think of where they're coming from, you know, and if they're young or old, or give them characteristics to make them look like this or that. I just like to give them a history, you know. I just hope that people enjoy it and they like what they buy and that they take away their own little story with it. It makes me feel good that people like my artwork, and I hope that it makes them happy and they enjoy something that I make.
You can see more of Kristen's creations on her website at klmorrisstudios.com or give her a follow on Instagram. When Dennis Devendra decided to take up wood turning, he had a hard time finding mentors who would teach him. People were apprehensive about helping a blind man operate machinery that reaches speeds of up to more than 1,000 RPMs. But this German village resident persevered despite the challenges. Here's his story.
So I have been turning wood since 2004. Wood turning is the process of shaping wood. Now, all the tools, everything stays still, and the wood spins, and then you carve the wood with tools. And the wood that you want to use for wood turning, pretty much anything. I mean, you don't even have to use wood. You could use acrylics. People use styrofoam. There's all kinds of materials you could use. What gives you the best result is hardwoods. The harder the wood, the denser the grain, the smoother the finish. It can look pretty impressive once you get some of these hardwoods that come out with their colors. I haven't been blind forever. I didn't even know that I was going to go blind until I was about 20 years old. I have a hereditary eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. I went blind when I was 27. Well, I stopped driving when I was 27 years old. I was doing some woodworking here in Columbus, and I was over at the woodwork store. I went and I bought a lathe and some tools and took it home, and it went okay for a while. I was making pens and getting a lot of success out of that. You know, I kind of got bored after a while, and I really wanted to go a little further with my turning. Nobody wanted to work with me because they were afraid that, you know, working with a guy who's blind, you know, that, oh, you know, you shouldn't be working with power tools. See, this is emotional for me because it's so, it's everybody tells me I can't do this. A friend of ours in New York was getting into wood turning as well, so he decided, you know, he was willing to show me how to turn a bowl. And I said, oh, that's great. So we went up to upstate New York, and we put a piece of wood on the lathe, and we spent the afternoon turning a bowl. It was beautiful. I mean, I look at it now, it's pretty bad. But it was my bowl. It was a great bowl, and it was a good start. So I knew the mechanics at that point. So I brought took my knowledge and got some additional equipment and started turning bowls and started getting a little bit better at bowls. If you walked into my shop, you wouldn't say, hey, this is a shop for somebody who's blind. It's organized. When I have my shop laid out, I have the tools in a certain spot, and I may even have marks on the handles. And so I know where all the tools are. For measuring, I have what's called a click stick, and it's just a device. It's about 6 inches long, and it clicks out at 1/16 of an inch increments. For centering, you know, when you put a piece of wood on the lathe, you need to have it centered so it's not off center, so it doesn't rock when it goes on the lathe. You take a circle, just a circle of wood, and exactly in the middle you put a little hole. And so when you want to center a piece of wood with a nail, you just poke a little bit of a dimple in the wood, and so that's where you know to chuck up your lathe and how to square it. Now there are safety concerns, but they're the same safety concerns as anybody. I use my touch, I use my hearing when I turn. When I'm teaching other people, and I do that now, I listen and I have them listen. when I roughen out a piece of wood, it's going to be square when it's on the lathe, and so there's corners coming at me, and I just have to make sure I know where my hands are, and so once that wood is roughed down to a cylinder, then I can put my hands on it and feel the cuts as I'm making them. I do all this stuff by myself in the shop. The only thing that I ask somebody else to do, my wife to do, is she'll put the finish on for some of the things. And she'll look through and see if there's a tool mark or something like that on the wood so that I can't feel. That besides that, it's all me. It's not a matter of whether we're going to have challenges in our life. It's like, how do you deal with those? Are you going to let those challenges take you, or are you going to take them on and overcome those challenges? Stop thinking about me as a blind person, but thinking me as a woodturner who's blind.
There is an artist in town who works on some of the hottest cartoons on television, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Scooby-Doo to Curious George and Adult Swim favorites like Mike Tyson Mysteries. His name is Rafael Rosado, and not only is he a professional storyboard artist, he's also the illustrator of a series of comic books for children. Here's more.
Storyboard artist's job is to take the story that's in the script and basically tell it visually, basically. What I do is sort of the tip of the spear as far as like the production process goes. And then once we storyboard it, that will eventually go to an animator. So in essence, they're using what I've drawn as a roadmap.
We did vote in the next election. It was a joy. But the thing about it is, I didn't feel it should have been this hard. I knew it shouldn't have been this hard.
I've been doing a lot of work for Warner Brothers Animation. So right now I'm working on Mike Tyson Mysteries, which is an Adult Swim show, and it's hilarious. It's just insane.
Dad? I'm sorry. It's just when I hear a bell, it's instinctive. I go for the knockout every time.
Let's see, I was working on Curious George, and that's really one of my favorite shows to work on. The Chronicles of Claudette, which is what we call the series as a whole, was co-created by myself and Jorge Aguirre, who's also he's from Columbus. He's actually born and raised in Upper Arlington. So Claudette lives in a medieval town in France where magic and magical creatures are, a common thing. But she has this idea that she wants to be just like her dad and become this great warrior. So she convinces her little brother, Gaston, who his desire is actually to become the world's greatest pastry chef. And then she convinces her best friend, Marie, who's sort of a princess in training, and then their little dog, Valiant, this little pug. So together they go off on this adventure. And we basically keep the team together over the 3 books. We love telling her stories, and it comes very easily, the characters, they really live in our heads, and we can hear them speaking, and when I put pencil to paper, it's almost like it moves by itself. Graphic novels are a way for beginning readers to, basically get comfortable with the act of reading and just building confidence into reading. And I've heard this from many teachers and librarians and parents that our books in particular have helped a lot of reluctant readers. I try to make the kids realize that this is something they can do themselves. I think there's been a huge cultural shift in the last maybe 20 years, I would say, but even more so in the last 10 years, in the way that people treat graphic novels and the amount of respect that they get. And they're seen more as a legitimate art form and a legitimate way of telling stories, all kinds of stories. But honestly, this is something I wanted to do since I was a kid. I mean, I've been drawing since I could hold a pencil. I feel very lucky to be able to draw for a living. Yeah, I really am. I'm living the dream.
Give Raphaelle a follow on Instagram, where you can keep up with all the adventures of Claudette and watch her smash 2020 to smithereens. Finally tonight, a visit with local fashion designer Esther Sands. She was born in Ghana, but moved to Ohio as a teenager, and she describes her design aesthetics as Afrofusion, combining the prints and fabrics of West Africa with the patterns and silhouettes of Asia. Check it out.
We're just gonna make a skirt. Why not? I was born in Ghana, West Africa. I came here when I was 16. Went to school in Westerville, went to OSU, graduated from OSU. I started in engineering, civil engineering, and then I switched to art. My day job is quality assurance for a pharmaceutical company. I will call my aesthetic more of like an Afrofusion. I love different cultures, so I combine my culture with different cultures, mostly adding the prints and the fabrics and the brightness of my culture with, like, let's say a kimono. I love Asian culture. It's a little close to my culture in terms of food and traditions. And so I wanted to take the traditional clothes, like a hanfu, like a kimono, and try and make them with all African fabric. The brand name is Amamre. Amamre in my language, which is the Akan Twi language, means culture or traditions. The menswear specifically, since I'm so new to it, I do draw my inspiration from Asian men's fashion because it's sleek, it's nice, it's sophisticated. The brand tells a story. It's a way for the client, the customer, to tell their own story of being bold and confident. My husband's name is Joshua Sands. He is awesome. He kind of pushes me to take more risks. And he's a mechanical engineer. He's a design engineer. And he sews as well and cosplays as well. And he's currently gotten into chainmail.
For this one, you just basically have to make sure that one ring is going through 6 rings.
We do cosplay. We go to OhioCon and the Ohio Renaissance Festival. So we kind of dabble in some fun stuff too. I like the process. However, when it's finished and you actually see the design in your head come to life, it's really fulfilling. That's the part that I love.
That's our show. Remember, you can find all of our stories online at WOSU.org, as well as on our YouTube channel. For all of us here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching.
Dear Miss Roberts, can I call you up tonight? Dear Miss Roberts, I can tell you that some fight. I know life's been kicking you down. I know your world's been spinning around. I'm right here just waiting for you in the lost to be found. In the lost to be found.
I got pulled aside when I was younger to be a therapist at school for other kids. So they wanted me to be a student counselor, and I was dealing with my own stuff and I didn't think I could help other people, but they really believed I could help other people. So that is a good reason why I paint, is to deal with my own stuff, and like as long as my hands are busy, everything is a lot easier to deal with because I'm making progress in some way. Like every painting is basically a short-term goal achieved. A lot of people know that I do freestyle painting, or I just make things up as I go along, and I don't know basically what the end product is going to be. But I'm also an illustrator, and I love comic books, and I love cartoons, and I love music, and so anything that makes me happy and spurs me to paint, I do it.
Catch Columbus at its creative best on Broad and High, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock on WOSU TV.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.